What's up, Humanities? Welcome back to quarter two. Here I am recording a video for you from my kitchen. Hopefully you got everything in for quarter one. If you haven't, I'd really recommend, if you haven't up to this point, double check on Power School. Make sure that you have grades in for everything that you think you've turned in and submitted. If you see any errors, hit me up ASAP. My grades are due by the end of the school day on Tuesday. So you need to get me a message before noon on Tuesday at the absolute latest, but the sooner the better. If you see any grading discrepancies or any issues there. Enough with quarter one, though. Most of you did a very good job and did pretty well on your journals, and all the assignments. Grades overall for humanities were pretty high. So good job on that. Pat yourself on the back if you did well. If you didn't do so good in quarter one, hey, it's not too late to save it. Remember, at Michigan Center, we break down grades by your semester grade is what figures into your GPA and determines if you get credit. And your semester grade's broken down by quarter one, quarter two, and exam. Quarter one's 40%, quarter two's 40%, exam's 20%. So you have to pass two of the three. So even if you failed quarter one, you can absolutely still save it. You just got to start checking in every day, get your stuff in on time. If you do well, even if your grade is a little lower and it would figure out that you got say a 58% in class if you passed quarters two and my exam. So even if it was the math was not working out in your favor, I promise if you kick it in and are doing good, I will bump you up the grade and make sure you do get credit. Okay, enough about grading stuff. What we're getting into for quarter two. Hopefully a lot of different fun things. We wandered quite a bit in quarter one. Hopefully you guys didn't mind that. I don't know, as an elective class, I don't like to, be too serious or stuck in the mud on any one particular thing. And as an elective, I want to keep the workload down a little bit. And that gives you more time to really focus on your core classes. But I want to keep this kind of light and fluffy and fun and focus on some interesting things that also might impact your life in hopefully a positive way and make you a more well-rounded person. So we're going to kind of, like most of the Journal 11s where I asked you to critique me and give me some feedback. I appreciate that. A lot of good comments there, a lot of constructive criticism and just things to minor tweaks. But it seemed like for most people overall, this was working pretty good for an elective class. So more or less things are going to stay about the same. Know that I learned a lot about Google Classroom and just remote learning in general, or remote instruction, virtual instruction, I guess you could say. So I think I have all of the kinks ironed out, and just kind of how class is going to work the way it was working over the past month here pretty much is how we're going to keep on going right on through to the end of the semester. Know that if you do take this class in semester two, I'll cover different topics. So it could be either a full year long or a semester class for you. You can really do it either way. Things in the near future that I want to start getting into, just to give you kind of a heads up, and I'm talking over the next maybe 3 weeks to a month or so. I want to hit conspiracy theories. I'm thinking cults will probably hit too. Maybe even throw in some world religions with that. I want to hit guns in America. And then also for sure, I'm going to throw in some random miscellaneous stuff where I just do a Taluki life advice day, or give you some, just little odds and ends, little tidbits or whatever. It happens to be something that pops into my brain. And I think, man, I should share this with the class. There'll be some randomness coming at you too. And part of that miscellaneous will be, obviously we have this huge election coming up where the country is just going bonkers. We're going to spend a couple days here or there hitting some election stuff, especially as we get really close to it, like election day and thereafter. We'll probably be looking at some politics again, even though it's not a politics class. I don't want to make it too heavy on that, but I don't see how we can ignore what's going on in politics in America. That's a big part of just the life of a human living in the world today. So first up, though, this week, I want to hit some conspiracy theory stuff. I had a lot of requests for that at the beginning of the year. A few of you had brought up in Journal 11 that you wanted me to, you were kind of waiting for that and itching to get into it. So here we go. Let's do some conspiracy theory things. This video that I'm posting is going to be your new Journal 1. So most of you had submitted your journals at the end of last quarter. Great. That journal, or that Google Doc with all of your first quarter journals on it, you're done with that. You should probably just go in and label it quarter one journals as like the title, so you don't come back to that one. The only thing you'd need to do with it at this point is, if for whatever reason you hadn't gotten it to me for credit yet, get it to me ASAP, like before Tuesday at noon, so I could give you some points for it. You'll start up a brand new Google Doc, and I would just put in the heading, I'd recommend you like label it quarter two Humanities journals or something like that. So you're not getting it mixed up with other things. And then that'll be just kind of a working doc, just like you did for quarter one. You're going to keep all those journals tallied off again. And for quarter two, though, now we're going to reset and start at journal 1. So don't mark it journal 12, even though it's the 12th one we're doing for the year. We're resetting it. So back to journal number 1, just name in the top right-hand corner, and then whatever the last journal is at the end of the marking period, you'll submit it on that assignment post like we did this first time around. At any point in time, if you want to get feedback from me, just share it with me via email, and I'll tell you what I think and give you a little bit of feedback on it. For day 1 for conspiracy theories, here's the thing. I think I want you guys to dig into it a little bit and go down the rabbit hole. And for this first journal, I'm going to ask that you research 2 different conspiracy theories and you explain it to me as thoroughly as you can. I mean, I know most conspiracy theories, big ones, have like books written on them. I'm not asking you to do that, but I want you to give me a very brief yet thorough summation of 2 different conspiracy theories. Now, they can be one from history. It could be something that happened 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100, 200 years ago. Could be something from ancient times even, or it can be something that's going on today. Big ones from the past. If you're thinking like, well, I don't even know any conspiracy theories, think about from back in my U.S. history class, for those of you that had it, when I talked about the Kennedy assassination. Now it's gone down in history that Lee Harvey Oswald was the shooter that killed JFK. I tend to think Lee Harvey Oswald probably was the shooter. And there's a million different conspiracy theories out there spinning the Kennedy assassination in different ways, from the mob doing it to the Russians to our own Central Intelligence Agency. I'm going to break that one down for you a little bit more. So that's a good example of something that has a lot of conspiracy theories tied into it. I'm going to ask that for this one right now, you don't pick that one, because I'm going to profile it this week. So that's the one in there that's like off limits to you. But I'm going to hit that one from a few different angles. So I just don't want to like double dip on it. Ones that are around today, like the one that I can think of right now that is like in the news quite a bit, and it's tying into American politics, is the QAnon one. Have you guys heard about that one at all? Maybe some of you are oblivious to it. That one's kind of a bizarro world, like weird. It's a conspiracy theory. And then basically it goes that like it kind of started, from what I know of it, back in the last presidential election cycle. And in a nutshell, it's kind of that like the high ups in the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton included, were running a massive like pedophile ring, and Donald Trump is the guy coming in and he's breaking that all up. When Trump's been asked about it, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But he'll also kind of like do some tweets where he does act like he knows what he's talking about. It's weird stuff. It fits right into the current political narrative, just of being over the top and, beyond parody and absurdity. So that's one you could hit if you want. That's a current one today. Now, remember, some conspiracy theories, you can actually find some that they were a conspiracy theory at the time, but then they proved to be true. Getting into the Vietnam War, another one you could look into if you wanted, was the Gulf of Tonkin incident. We justified the whole Vietnam War over this incident where we said the Vietnamese were shooting at us. It was always like kind of thought that might have been a conspiracy theory and didn't happen. Later on, military records have proved actually, yeah, it was true that was all forged, and we kind of got into that war under false pretenses. Most conspiracy theories typically end up kind of proven to not be true, and they don't have a lot of basis to them. But what I want you to do today is pick the 2 most interesting ones that you can find. So do some Googling. Go just type in conspiracy theories and do a little bit of reading, just skimming through things, and find something that catches your eye. And I want you to pick 2 different ones where you're giving me maybe about, like a paragraph summation, just telling me in a nutshell what it's about. Now, if you're like me at all, you're going to start researching those, and it's like I'm asking you to spend like 20 minutes to a half hour, like doing this research to type up a journal entry. And this is something that you could very easily waste your whole afternoon on, because some of these are really interesting and bizarre. And they just, like, for me, it'll suck me right in and I get super into it. Hopefully some of you are that way too, and you can have some fun with this. Be ready to talk about. I'm going to have you pick one of them later in the week and have you get a little bit further into it. And then we're going to do some other stuff, some graded discussions, and we're going to be sharing out and kind of talking as best we can as a class. So I think I've hit about everything I need you to do. This is going to be Journal 1 again. Starting a new Google Doc for it. You're going to research 2 conspiracy theories. I want you to sum them up for me, explain them as best you can. Be ready to dive deeper into them in the near future. And that's what I got for you. And you can kind of plan on, just like in quarter 1, I think I was hitting this rhythm once we got into the quarter. We'll do about 1 journal entry a week on average. Some weeks might be none, others might be 2, but usually about 1 a week. We'll probably do 1 graded discussion a week where it's like I'm asking you to put a comment out there and you got to do it by midnight. Remember, each of those things, journals and the graded discussions, are 25% of your grade. And then the rest will be other days. We'll do some lectures, classwork, quizzes, little things like that. And that'll be the other 50% of your grade. So I am keeping that or the way it was in quarter 1 moving forward. And now I think I got the kinks ironed out too. So have luck. Good luck to you researching Journal 1. I hope you have fun with it. This is one you can have some fun with for sure if you take your research in the right direction. So good luck and happy hunting for conspiracy theories. I'll be talking to you soon.